never shoot below the net. You a rookie, you a rookie. I'm a vet, I'm a vet. That's why I got a Glock, you got a 10.
Alright, so this should be good. Real quick, just wanted to mention this indicator. It's moon phases. Just type in moon, should come up in trading view at least. Excuse me. But it's a pretty sweet indicator. So I'm not sure if this is a new moon and this is a full moon, or if this is a full moon and this is a new moon. I don't know. But all I know is this black one, or this bottom one, you only want to be buying when it's in this phase. So when it's in a new moon or a full moon, whatever, you are only buying, and you're only selling when it's in this phase, right? So you can see when we came into this phase, even though it was a bullish market here, we kind of, not too bad, I'm not even going to bother with that, but so it's an uptrend. You don't want to be buying the uptrend on these moon phases, right? You see we got a correction here on basically on this moon phase, but in an uptrend, some nice points to be buying. Obviously right here on the, well, this was a downtrend at the time, and you can see it rolled over. We really got no love on the new bearish moon phase. We did not push to a new low. By the time this this phase comes on, you're getting some bullish pressure, but certainly by here, a nice buy. Here, a nice buy. Here, a nice buy. Just in an uptrend, right? We didn't really get much of a pullback after the highs were made, so that's kind of a sketchy buy, but nevertheless, a few pips to be made right here. This is the daily chart too, right? So here's another nice buy, and yeah, you get the point. In a downtrend, obviously the opposite is true. You don't want to be getting involved when the market is, it's been in like a downtrend. You don't want to be selling that. So you're only getting involved in a sell here, get involved in a sell here, get involved in a sell here, here, here. Worked out nice. Right now we are in a bearish moon phase, so across all pairs, all of your trades for the next couple weeks should only be sells. So find those markets that are down or reversing. So what I want to show you today, though, I'll just remove this to keep it nice and clean, is a sweet little trick to square your chart for Gann. And you don't need to have, you don't have to have your chart, your scale locked. You can use this to lock your chart. Once you find, you can basically, and people are saying Gann didn't even use computers, so what are you talking about? Gann didn't square his, or scale his chart and his ratio. Yeah, he didn't scale his fucking price chart. He was drawing the fucking thing by hand, the geometry. But anyways, and so was Elliott Wave. Like, they were drawing it on pieces of paper and not on a computer. This was like the 50s, man. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about, but anyways, this is a nice trick too. And when it's really helpful for tools like the Gann, the fixed Gann, right? Because right now my thing is not locked, so when I move it, you can see that things move. But you can basically just move it and line it up, and then lock your scale. Ooh. Doesn't take a genius. Honestly though. Alright. And then you can work with that. That's very valid. And there's other squaring methods that are right in the Gann book that you can square doing it that way via TradingView, or anything that allows you to just lock the ratio, the price bar ratio, to a certain number or wherever it is. But and that's a quick and easy way to find the proper scale, is to just put on a tool that moves around and line it up and then lock the ratio. But that's not really what I want to show you today. And before I forget, there is the law of harmony, I think it's called, where some nerd recognized a pattern in the markets where after a high, the very next candle, you take it, and it's basically just 12, 24, 48, yada yada, but for whatever reason he said 192. It was his key number, so 192 would have been right there, and you can see we took off on a sell, but and then you can go either way with that. So you could double it, so 192 times 2, or half of that, which is 96. So 96 bars. Boom. Kind of getting that roll over here to pull up. Alright, previous to that, we'd be sitting at 48. 48 bars right here. We get that drop. And 12 bars would kind of be your next. And we get that drop into here, right? So some sort of law of harmony, 192 is kind of the start number that I've heard on the streets, on the main streets of trading. But so you take that number and then you can divide it by 2 and multiply it by 2. I like just finding like a high and then 12 bars from there, from any typical high. So any 12, take that from right here, there's a high here, boom, and then you take the next candle from the high, right, and then we're mapping out 12 bars. Well, 12 bars, if you were continuing lower, boom, it was a perfect time to get involved. So 12 bars, and the 12 and 24, yada yada, it just resorts back to our time sequence that we use, the 60-minute based time system that we use. So definitely something you want to look into, and that's exactly what Gann was trading. Was very specific time frames. The 1440 chart, the 9-hour chart. He switched it up from thing to thing. You really don't need to, because he was just applying the math on pieces of paper and shit. Applying these, we have the luxury of changing our scale on the computer and finding the right scale for any time. So. We have such higher potential than any of these guys that came before us. But anyways, and I strongly feel that I'm the best trader that's ever lived on this planet. I don't mean to sound cocky, but I haven't seen anybody else. I finally learned something though from this other kid that trades Gann, and that was this little trick here, is how to line up. And so I've laid a trend line from my high to my low, and then I just laid a Fibonacci retracement there. And then now I'm grabbing a Fibonacci time zone, and boom, I'm dragging it past there, and boom, I'm lining up the 50%. And you can do this with like the 618 and create different rules, right? Do it with whatever number ratio you want. But here's how it works with the 50%. Drag it past there, and then I want to lock that in, so it's not moving. And then now, boom, this is the angle that I'm looking for, and I can go ahead and just grab my square. I haven't locked my scale or anything, right? See, it stays the same. This measurement here is intersecting with this line, this vertical line, at the same point. No matter what I make this look like, it's going to be at the same point. So that point, and right, you can see just lining up the middle point of my Gann square right here, lining that up with the trend line at the intersection. Beautiful, right there. Don't need to lock that just yet, but you can see some really nice levels coming in here. Boom, on both the time on the time scale, when to the direction, right? The vertical lines here and the horizontal lines. Not so much the horizontal lines. Not a huge focus of mine. Other traders really do like to, and this, you can see it worked out well. If you were to just kind of take profit from level to level, or sell as we're rejecting on level, worked out well. But I really like to focus on the time lines, the time levels, time series, and the trend lines that are in here. So and a good way that I like to, some people tend to say that you know, this gann box is just looks like chaos. There's all this stuff going on, but what you want to focus on, and I've grabbed a triangle here just to kind of exemplify that, is you want to focus on specific points, right? So boom, there's this kind of angle here, and see, I've just taken the the horizontal lines. I've taken a section, and I'm just focusing on a section, and I'm not even looking at the price when I'm doing this. I'm just grabbing a random section, and I'm letting you focus on that. Right? We're giving some love on there. You may even want to be switching it up at this point. I'm focusing on something down here. Right? There's a break there. We've got all these. There's a ton of different possibilities for you to be looking at. A ton of different angles to be focused on. It's a nice buy from off there. Right in that trend line, right? We've been down for a few days. We came into what should be changing direction, settled on both of these access points here, and a nice time to buy. Just grabbing, I cloned that. I'm just going to duplicate it, moving on over here. Simple as can be. Look at those time levels. Boom, boom, boom. Came into the Fibonacci from that original time zone I made, right? So we've got the Fibonacci time zones in the background lining us up with our gann squares. And then you can see it came in lovely here. But even the gann time zones, boom, 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 boom. So sweet. And as we're coming into the end of the square there, it starts to kind of sporadic out and boom, but still hugging these trend lines beautifully. And here we are now, so let's go ahead and just clone this again. We're still in this range, so there's no need to be trying to calculate like a trend push down or up or anything, right? And these levels still coming in beautifully. These trend lines especially, right? We're literally dead center in this gann box right now. Isn't that something? So, simple to do, really easy way to square things up. Right, so I'll do it again, just boom. I'm not going to actually do it, I'll just throw it on quick. Get your trend line, bam. You get your Fibonacci level on there, boom. And then the important part though, in order to square everything up, is that you're getting this Fibonacci point, this time zone, lined up right there. Boom. And look at how it just comes into play right after that. Just the Fibonacci time zone alone. Not to mention the trend lines that you get from that, right? And you know, there's a bunch of ideas in here that just to give you some different examples. Here's the DXY. Really nice respect of these trend lines, right? Dropping straight down, basically hugging this vortex in here. It's not really a vortex, but whatever it is, hugging this kind of triangle. I like to use the triangle tool and really triangulate them in there. Right, so simple. Before I wrap this vid up, I'll throw it back on there just to show you how quick and easy it is. Take that high, take that. Takes you 2 seconds to get just immaculate levels. Alright, you can do this on any pair, and I'm just taking kind of the most recent dip. If you look at this whole price chart on the daily, it's kind of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Elliott wave, so it's nice to be aware of things like that. This is kind of the highest high, all-time high on this chart, so on the dailies, and I'm just kind of taking from that high side, taking kind of its most recent fractal, right? Just kind of its most recent swing, calculating that just to kind of see, you know, where would this bottom be? Boom, are we done here? And Sure enough, we're still bouncing around in these levels from way back here, right? And just been immaculate ever since. So I've got my trend line, I've got my timeline, and then boom, that's the angle I'm looking for right there. That's that sweet spot. Like a glove. And you literally just need that one. Bring it on over. Line it up. And you're in business. I went one too far. There we go. Easy as can be, right? So hopefully this was helpful. I know that it was. Again, even just that, especially knowing that law of harmony thing, right? The very next candle from any high, boom, you got 12 bars. We're taking off. Boom, we got our 48 bars. We're slowing down around 48 bars, right? Might be time to reverse. Sure enough, we come up into, what was the next one? 96. There's 96 bars right there. We're taking off. And then we're at 192 is our next ratio, which is basically right where we are right now, which to me would indicate the end of this upward trend here, right? So enjoy, get out there, find those sweet spots, man. Get those gann levels, get those trend lines, and make sure you get those timelines. So important to have timelines, right? Cool. All right. Peace.